हेलो एंड गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स। सो आप सभी का मेरे चैनल पे स्वागत है। इस स्वागत के लिए मैं आप लोगों के लिए कुछ लाइन बोलूँगी। आपके प्यार मेरी मेहनत की लागत है। आप सबकी प्यार मेरी मेहनत की लागत है। आप सभी का मेरे चैनल पे स्वागत है। सो आज का जो हमारा चैप्टर है वो है चैप्टर 10 जो कि क्लास 12 का है, माइक्रोब्स इन ह्यूमन वेलफेयर। सो आज हम लोग इसका ऑडियो बुक करने वाले हैं। सो स्टार्ट करते हैं। Besides macroscopic plant and animals, microbes are the major components of biological system on this earth. You have studied about the diversity of living organisms in class 11. Do you remember which kingdoms among the living organisms contain microorganisms? Which are the ones that are only microscopic? Microbes are present everywhere in soil, water, air, inside our bodies, and that of other animals and plants. They are present even at the site where no other life forms could possibly exist. Sites such as deep inside the gaseous, that is, thermal vents, where the temperature may be as high as 100 degrees Celsius, deep in the soil under the layer of snow several meters thick, and in highly acidic environments. Microbes are diverse protozoa, bacteria, fungi, and microscopic plant virus, viroids, and also prions that are proteinaceous infectious agent. Some of the microbes are shown in figure 10.1 and 10.2. Microbes like bacteria and many fungi can be grown on nutritive media to form colonies that can be seen with the naked eyes. Such cultures are useful in study on microorganisms. And here the diagrams are given of 10 in figure 10.1. Some bacteria are given, that is, first one is rod shaped magnified 1500x, and next one is spherical shaped, and the last one is rod shaped. And in figure 10.2 viruses are given. First one is bacteriophage, next one is adenovirus which causes respiratory infections, and next one is the rod shaped tobacco mosaic virus, that is TMV, magnified about 1 lakh to 150 lakh x. And in figure 10.3, that is clone is a bacteria growing in petri dish, and B is fungal cloning growing in a petri dish. In chapter 8, you have read the microbes cause a large number of diseases in human beings. They also cause diseases in animals and plants, but this should not make you think that all microbes are harmful. Several microbes are useful to man in diverse ways. Some of the important contributions of microbes to the welfare are discussed in this chapter. So our first topic is 10.1, that is microbes in household products. You would be surprised to know that we use microbes or product derived from them every day. A common example is the production of curd from milk. Microorganisms such as lactobacillus and other commonly known as lactic acid bacteria, that is LAB, grow in milk and convert it into curd. During growth, the LAB produce acids that coagulate and partially digest the milk proteins. A small amount of curd added to the fresh milk as inoculum or starter contains millions of lab which at suitable temperature multiply, thus converting milk to curd, which also improves its nutritional quality by increasing vitamin B12 in our stomach too. The LAB plays very beneficial role in checking disease-causing microbes. The dough, which is used for making foods such as dosa and idli, is also fermented by bacteria. The puffed up appearance of dough is due to the production of CO2. Can you tell which metabolic pathway is taking place, resulting in the formation of CO2? Where where do you think the bacteria for these fermentations came from? Similarly, the dough which is used for making bread is fermented using baker's yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. A number of traditional drinks and foods are also made by fermentation by the microbes. Toddy, a traditional drink of some parts of southern India, is made by fermenting sap from the palms. Microbes are also used to ferment fish, soya bean, bamboo shoots to make food. Cheese is one of the oldest food items in which microbes are used. Different varieties of cheese are known by these characteristic texture, flavor, and taste. The specificity coming from the microbes used, for example, the large holes in Swiss cheese are due to production of large amount of CO2 by bacterium named the Propionibacterium cerminae. The Roquefort cheese are ripened by growing in a specific fungi on them, which gives them a particular flavor. Next topic is 10.2, that is microbes in industrial products. Even in industry, microbes are used to synthesize a number of products valuable to human beings. Beeswax and antibiotics are some examples. Production on an industrial scale requires growing microbes in a very large vessels called fermenters. 10.2.1, that is fermented beverages. Microbes, especially yeast, have been used from time immemorial for the production of beverages like wine, beer, whiskey, brandy, or rum. For this purpose, the same yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, used for bread making and commonly known as brewer's yeast, is used for fermenting malted cereals, food juices to produce ethanol. Do you recollect the metabolic reaction which results in the production of ethanol by yeast? Depending on the type of raw material used for fermentation and the type of processing, with or without distillation, different types of alcoholic drinks are obtained. Wine and beer are produced without distillation, whereas whiskey and brandy and rum are produced by distillation of fermented broth. The photograph of fermentation of plant as shown in the figure. That is in figure 10.4, fermenters diagram are given, and in 10.5, that is fermentation plant is given. Next one is antibiotics. Antibiotics produced by microbes are regarded as one of the most significant discoveries of the 20th century and have greatly contributed towards the welfare of human society. Anti, a Greek word which means against, and bio means life. Together they mean against life in the context of disease causing organism, whereas with reference to human beings they are pro life and not against. Antibiotics are chemical substances which are produced by some microbes and can kill or retard the growth of other organism, that is disease causing. You are familiar with the commonly used antibiotics, that is penicillium. Do you know that penicillium was the first antibiotic to be discovered, and it was a chance discover? Alexander Fleming, while working on Staphylococci bacteria, once observed a mold growing in one of his unwashed culture plates around which Staphylococci could not grow. He found out that was due to the chemical produced by the mold, and he named it penicillium after the mold, Penicillium notatum. However, its full potential as an effective antibiotic was established much later by Ernst Chain and Howard Florey. These antibiotics were extensively used to treat an American soldiers wounded in the World War II. Fleming, Chain, and Florey was awarded by the Nobel Prizes in 1945 for this discovery. After penicillium, other antibiotics were also purified from other microbes. Can you name some other antibiotics and find their sources? Antibiotics have greatly improved our capacity to treat deadly diseases such as plague, whooping cough, that is kali khasi, diphtheria, galgotu, and leprox, that is Kushtrog, which used to kill millions all over the globe. Today, we can't imagine a world without antibiotics. Next topic is 10.2.3, that is chemical enzymes and other bioactive molecules. Microbes are also used for commercial and industrial production of certain chemicals like organic acid, alcohols, and enzymes. Examples of acid procedures are Aspergillus niger, that is fungus of citric acid; Acetobacter, that is bacterium of acetic acid; Clostridium botulinum, that is bacterium of butyric acid; and Lactobacillus, that is bacterium of lactic acid. Each Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used for commercial production of ethanol. Microbes are also used for production of enzymes. Lipases are used in detergent formulation and are helpful in removing oil stains from the laundry. You must have noticed that the bottled juice bought from the market are clear as compared to those at homemade. This is because the bottle juice are clarified by the use of bacterinases and proteases. Streptokinase produced by the bacterium Streptococcus and modified by genetic engineering is used as a clot buster for removing clots from the blood vessels of patients who have undergone myocardial infarction leading to a heart attack. Another bioactive molecules are cyclosporin A, that is used as a immunosuppressive agent in an organ transplant patient, is produced by the fungus Trichoderma polysporum. Statins produced by the yeast Monascus purpurus have been commercialized as a blood cholesterol lowering agent. It acts by competitively inhibiting the enzyme responsible for synthesis of cholesterol. And microbes in sewage treatment. We know that large quantities of wastewater are generated every day in cities and towns. A major component of these wastewater in is human excreta. This municipal water wastewater is also called sewage. It contains large amount of organic matter and microbes, many of which are pathogenic. Have you ever wondered where this huge quantity of sewage or urban waste water is disposed of daily? This can't be discharged into natural water bodies like rivers and streams directly. You can understand why. Before disposal, hence sewage is treated in sewage treatment plants, that is STPs, to make it less pollinating. Treatment of wastewater is done by heterotrophic microbes naturally present in the sewage. This treatment is carried out in two steps. Primary treatment. These treatment steps basically involve physical removal of particles large and small from the sewage through filtration and sedimentation. These are removed in stages. Initially, floating debris is removed by sequential filtration. Then the drift soil and small pebbles are removed by sedimentation. All solid that settle from primary sludge and the supernatant forms the effluent. The effluent from the primary sledding tank is taken for secondary treatment. Secondary treatment or biological treatment. The primary effluent is passed into large aeration tank where it is constantly aggregated mechanically and air is pumped into it. This allows vigorous growth of useful aerobic microbes into flocks. Masses of bacteria associated with fungal filaments to form mesh-like structure. While growing, these microbes consume the major part of the organic matter in the effluent. This significantly reduces the BOD, that is biochemical oxygen demand of the effluent. BOD refers to the amount of oxygen that would be consumed if all the organic matter in 1 liter of water were oxidized by bacteria. The sewage water is treated till the BOD is reduced. The BOD test measures the rate of uptake of oxygen by microorganisms in a sample of water, and thus indirectly BOD is measure of the organic matter present in water. The greater the BOD of wastewater, more is its polluting potential. Once the BOD of sewage or wastewater is reduced significantly, the effluent is then passed into a sledding tank where the bacterial flocks are allowed to sediment. This sediment is called activated sludge. A small part of the activated sludge is pumped back into the aeration tank to serve as the inoculum. The remaining major part of the sludge is pumped into a large tank called anaerobic sludge digester. Here, other kinds of bacteria which grow anaerobically digest the bacteria and the fungi in the sludge. During this digestion, bacteria produce a mixture of gases such as methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide. These gases form biogas and can be used as a source of energy as it is inflammable. The effluent from the secondary treatment plant is generally released into natural water bodies like rivers, streams. An aerial view of such a plant is shown in figure 10.7. You can appreciate how microbes play a major role in treating millions of gallons of wastewater every day across the globe. This methodology has been practiced for more than century now in almost all the parts of the world. Till date, no man-made technology has been able to rival the microbial treatment of sewage. You can aware that due to increasing urbanization, sewage is being produced in much larger quantities than ever before. However, the number of sewage treatment plants has not increased enough to treat such large quantities, so the untreated sewage is often discharged directly into rivers, leading to their pollination and increase in water-borne diseases. The Ministry of Environment and Forest has initiated Ganga Action Plan and Yamuna Action Plan to save these major rivers of our country from pollination. Under this plan, it is proposed to build a large number of sewage treatment plants so that only treated sewage may be discharged in the river. A visit to a sewage treatment plant situated in any place near you would be a very interesting and educating experience. Microbes in production of biogas. Biogas is a mixture of gases containing predominantly methane produced by the microbial activity and which may be used as a fuel. You have learned that microbes produce different types of gases in products during growth and metabolism. The type of gas produced depends upon the microbes and the organic substrates they utilize. In the example cited in relation to fermentation of dough, cheese making, and production of beverages, the main gas produced was CO2. However, certain bacteria which grow anaerobically on cellulosic material produce large amount of methane along with CO2 and H2. The bacteria are collectively are called methanogens, and one such common bacterium is methanobacterium. These bacteria are commonly found in anaerobic sludge during sewage treatment. These bacteria are also present in human, that is a part of the stomach of cattle. A lot of cellulosic material present in the food of a cattle is also present in the human. In human, these bacteria help in the breakdown of cellulose and plays an important role in nutrition of cattle. Do you think we human beings are able to digest the cellulose present in our bodies? Thus, the excreta, that is dung of cattle, commonly called gobar, is rich in these bacteria. Dung can be used for generation of biogas, commonly known as a gobar gas. The biogas plant consists of constrict tank that is 10 to 15 feet deep in which bio-wastes are collected and slurry of dung is fed. A floating cover is placed over the slurry which keep on rising as the gas is produced in the tank due to the microbial activity. The biogas plant has an outlet which is connected to a pipe to supply biogas to nearby houses. The spent slurry is removed through another outlet and may be used as a fertilizer. Cattle dung is available in large quantities in rural areas, where cattle are used for a variety of purposes. So biogas plants are often built in rural areas. The biogas thus produced is used for cooking and lighting. The picture of biogas plant is shown in figure 10.8. The technology of biogas production was developed in India mainly due to the efforts of Indian Agriculture Research Institute, that is IARI, and Khadi and Village Industries Commission, that is KVIC. If your school is situated in a village or near a village, it would be very interesting to inquire if there are any biogas plants nearby. Visit the biogas and learn more about it from the people who are actually managing it. Microbes in biocontrol agent. Biocontrol agent refers to as the use of biological methods of controlling plant diseases and pests. In modern society, these problems have been tackled increasingly by use of insecticides and pesticides. These chemicals are toxic and extremely harmful to human beings and animals alike, and have been pollinating our environment, soil, ground, fruits, vegetable, and crop plants. Our soil is also polluted through our use of weedicides to remove weeds. Biological control of pests and diseases. In agriculture, there is a method of controlling pests that relies on a natural predation that rather than introduce chemicals. A key belief of organic farmers is that biodiversity further health. The more variety of landscape has, the more sustainable it is. The organic farmer therefore work to create a system where the insects that are sometimes called pests and are not eradicated but instead are kept at a manageable level by a complex system of a checks balance within a living and vibrant ecosystem, contrary to a conventional farming practices which often use chemical methods to kill both useful and harmful formed indiscriminately. This is a holistic approach that seeks to develop an understanding of the wave of interaction between the myriad of organisms that constitute the field, fauna, and flora. The organic farmer holds the view that the eradication of the creatures that are often described as a pest is not only possible but also undesirable, for without them the beneficial predatory and parasitic insects which depend upon them as a food as a host would not be able to survive. Thus the use of biocontrol measures will greatly reduce our dependence on toxic chemicals and pesticides. An important part of the biological farming approach is become familiar with the various life forms that inhabit the field, predators as well as pests, and also their life cycles, pattern of feeding, and the habitats that they prefer. They will help develop appropriate means of biocontrol. The very familiar battle with red and black marking, the ladybird and dragonflies are useful to get rid of aphids and mosquitoes respectively. An example of microbial biocontrol agent that can be introduced in order to control butterfly caterpillars and is the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis, often called as Bt. These are available in sects as a dried spores which are mixed with water and sprayed into vulnerable plants such as brassicas and fruit trees, where these are eaten by the insect's larvae. In the gut of larvae, the toxin is released and the larvae get killed. The bacterial disease will kill the caterpillars but leave other insects unharmed. Because of the development of methods of genetic engineering in the last decade or so, the scientists have introduced B. thiogenesis toxin genes into plants. Such plants are resistant to attack by animal pests. Bt cotton is one example which is being cultivated in some states of our country. You will learn more about this in chapter 12. A biological control being developed for use in the treatment of plant disease is the fungus trichoderma. Trichoderma species are free-living fungi that are very common in root ecosystem. They are effective biocontrol agents of the several plant pathogens. Baculovirus are pathogens that attack insects and other arthropods. The majority of baculovirus used as a biochemical control agents are in the genus Nucleophilodrovirus. These viruses are excellent candidates for species-specific narrow-spectrum insecticidal application. They have been shown to have no negative impact on plants, mammals, birds, fish, or even no non-target insects. This is especially desirable when beneficial insects are being consumed to aid in all over integrated pest management, that is IPM program, or when an ecological sensitive area is being treated. Microbes as biofertilizer. With our present day lifestyles, environmental pollution is a major cause of concern. The use of the chemical fertilizer is to meet the ever increasing demand of agriculture produce has contributed significantly to this pollution. Of course, we have now realize that there are problems associated with the overuse of chemical fertilizers, and there is a large pressure to switch the organic farming the use of biofertilizers. Biofertilizers are organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. The main sources of the biofertilizers are bacteria, fungi, and cyanobacteria. You have studied about the nodules on the root of leguminous plant formed by the symbiotic association of rhizobium. These bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen into organic forms, which is used by the plants as a nutrient. Other bacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen while free living in the soils. Example: Azospirillum and Azotobacter, thus enriching the nitrogen content of the soil. Fungi are also known to form symbiotic association with plants, that is mycorrhiza. Many members of the genus Glomus from mycorrhiza, the fungal symbiont in these association absorb phosphorus from soil and passes it into plants. Plants having such associations show other benefits also, such as resistance to root-borne and pathogens, tolerance to salinity and drought, and overall increase in plant growth and development. Can you tell what advantage the fungus derives from this association? Cyanobacteria are autotrophic microbes widely distributed in aquatic and terrestrial environments, many of which can fix atmospheric nitrogen, that is Anabina nostoc oscillatoria etc. In paddy fields, cyanobacteria serves as an important biofertilizer. Blue-green algae also add organic matter to the soil and increase its fertility. Currently in our country, a number of biofertilizers are available commercially in the market, and farmers use this regularly in their field to replenish soil nutrients and to reduce dependence on the chemical fertilizer. सो आज का चैप्टर यहीं खत्म होता है, मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट चैप्टर में, तब तक के लिए ओके बाय, एंड प्लीज़ like, share and subscribe my channel, and please share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.